Good morning and welcome to the garden.
One, two.
Sunday morning, heard the preacher say, "Thou shalt not kill." I don't
person next to you and say, I got hope. That's right. It's Hope Sunday at the Garden. We're so glad you're here. Our prayer is that you'll experience the love of God in and among this community of faith. You all look plenty full, like you had a good Thanksgiving, and ready to move on into our next season, which is Advent, getting ready for Christmas. We're in the middle of our stewardship campaign and just want to encourage people to get those pledges in because that's how we're able to plan for the year to come. And if you have any questions about that, there are plenty of people around who you can talk to. So I want to encourage you to get that done before the end of the year if that's possible. Fletcher Place baskets are due today, but they're not coming to get them until December 1st. So if for some reason you're moved to create a basket today, great. We'll take it before December 1st. The list is right there on the tear-off. That's what it's called. You just take that. If you didn't get a chance to get one done, take that off there. So we have so many good things coming up, like the Christmas Cabaret. The Christmas Cabaret will be right here at Union Chapel downstairs, December 11th. And Becky has tickets. I hope that you purchase some tickets. Becky wants you to purchase some tickets today. She'll be in the back with a tambourine that is supposed to look like jingle bells because somebody forgot the jingle bells this morning. But this is a good opportunity to invite someone to the garden. If you have somebody who would be interested in learning more about the garden, the cabaret is a great place to do it. Rhonda's going to sing some solos. Michael's going to sing some solos. I'm going to sing some solos. We'll have guests Leah Crane and Deb Mullins, so we want to encourage you all to be there. Becky has tickets. If you know somebody who might like to come and you want to take some extra tickets, we'll let you do that because we trust and love you. So, Christmas Cabaret, December 11th. At whatever time and whatever time. There are 2 shows, so we'd love to have you there. So, very nice. Thank you, Michael. Well, and you know what? If you're not in the Christmas spirit enough, well, Michael doesn't have any more tickets left to his show. And this Michael is with the Wright Brothers, their farewell tour, and there's only one more January, right? Everything else is sold out. So, yeah. So, check these guys out because they're doing a little bit of work around the world. Hey, guys, you know Leanne has not been feeling well, but guess what?
I'm back.
She's back.
Yay! Believe me, you wanted me to stay home. Influenza A is a real thing. And it lasted 10 days. And it was horrible. But I'm so excited to be back. Yay! I have a couple of things I wanted to announce. This is Advent, and this is, if you ever want to just play hooky from up here and go downstairs with the kids, this is the season to do it. Because we're going to learn the Christmas story by making ornaments. And today's ornament is this cute little star. Ooh, I know. It's going to require lots of glue, so we're going to get a little messy. But we're going to learn today about messengers, and specifically Gabriel. Now, he's going to leave his horn at home, but he came to Mary, and he said, "You're with child." And she was like, "No, sorry, you got the wrong person." No. She said, "I am your servant." That is how we need to be. God gives us a directive. Okay, I am your servant. So we're going to learn about Gabriel today and the angels that came to Mary, the angel that came to Mary and the angel that came to Joseph. And then there was angels who came to the shepherds. There was lots of angels in this story. So that's what we're doing downstairs today. So if y'all want to come down, you're more than welcome. Another thing is 'tis the Christmas season, so every child is going to get an advent calendar with little special chocolate in there. Are you jealous yet? Yeah. Woo. So that's another thing we're doing today. And then I'm going to ask all of the kids to come up here right now. Right now. Yes. There she is. Oh, yes, Kara with the C. Yes, and Ben. Yes, and Will. Come on up. Because there's something special today, isn't it? Yeah. And I'm going to hand it over to Carolyn to explain, because when you grow up Presbyterian, there's just candles, right? I didn't know until I became a Methodist that there are specific candles. So still I'm learning, right? So teach me about these candles.
That's perfect. What a great segue into what we're doing today. So today starts this season of Advent, and it's helping us prepare for a special day. What is that, Will? Do you remember? Christmas. Yes, that's correct. Christmas, that's right. And one way that we end up in waiting is that we light special candles to remind us that there is light in the world when baby Jesus came into the world. So this candle reminds us of baby Jesus. And this one today, any idea what today's candle might represent after that opening song? Hanukkah. Hanukkah hope. That's right. Hanukkah hope. So this is the hope candle, because Rhonda sang about hope, and then I talked about hope. And hope is the belief that something good is going to happen right around the corner. And it's the perfect season for that, because good is going to happen right around the corner. Will, you told me something good's going to happen right around the corner, and it's this afternoon. Yes, it is hope. But you're also going to see, who's the guy you're going to see? That's correct. Yeah, Santa. So you're getting ready for Santa coming, right? Yeah. So this candle's going to help us hope that Santa's coming, and I bet he does. And it's going to help us find ways, bless you, to wait with anticipation, with hope in our hearts. All right? Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. It's allergy season. Who ever thought that? So we're going to be lighting the Advent candle every week as part of our recipe for Christmas. And today, the Fedone family is going to help us light the candle of hope. So we're going to start our service, keep our service going at this time. What, bud?
Please join me in our words of welcome. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. Peace. Today we light the first candle of Advent, the candle of hope. As we light the candle of hope, we invite you to inhale, focusing on hope, and exhale all despair, fear, and doubt. Join me to inhale hope. Exhale your despair, fear, and doubt. Any darkness in your life. One more time, let's breathe in hope. And exhale any darkness in your life. The prophet Isaiah proclaims, "The people walk in darkness have seen light, seen a great light on those living in the land of deep darkness. A light has dawned. For us, a child is born, and he is our hope for a bright today, tomorrow, and forever." Today we focus and celebrate the hope that comes with Advent. We remember to live in hope as we look forward to Christmas.
I always knew that this would happen, that I could be a part of this big world. I believed that someday doors would open. It's a brand new life, one that I deserve. We have hope, we have love, and there's nothing we can't do, because it's about me, it's about you, sharing these magic moments, a dream come true. It's about life, it's about love, sharing these magic moments with you. Now there's music all around me, and I feel like I can fly. Together we can ride on the clouds of sound and take off to the sky. We have hope and we have love, and there's nothing we can't do, because it's about me, it's about you, sharing these magic moments, a dream come true. It's about life, it's about love, sharing these magic moments. And it's about me, it's about you, sharing these magic moments, a dream come true. It's about life, it's about love, sharing these magic moments. Raise up the sails, we'll head out with the wind. This is our moment and where it all begins. And as long as we have hope, as long as we have love, there's nothing we can't do, because it's about me and it's about you, sharing these magic moments, a dream come true. It's about life and it's about love, sharing these magic moments. And it's about me, oh, it's about you, sharing these magic moments, a dream come true. It's about life, it's about love, sharing these magic moments, sharing these magic moments, loving these magic moments, living these magic moments with you.
Christina comes up. I don't know if you noticed in your bulletin, but that piece was written and recorded by a guy named Michael Reed. Thank you so much, Michael.
My recipe for hope over the holiday season has kind of changed. It's evolved these past 4 years. Almost 4 years ago, my mom and dad passed. I thought I was going to make it. So the holidays started to feel a lot different. But I've got 2 busy nuggets, and we're lighting Hanukkah candles during Hope. So each year, a little more hope comes back. And I hope they treasure. Sounds so good. I hope they treasure all the memories. Our new tradition we've started, but still remember the memories we've had. Just each year, our recipe for hope just is a new mixture, and we're just making new traditions and memories. Please join me in prayer. I pray that God will fill you completely with joy and peace because you trust in him. Then you will overflow with hope through the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
It's good to be reminded that we all come to this season in different places. And Christina's mom was an active member of the garden who took care of her dad. Her dad had Alzheimer's, and she took care of him and died suddenly and unexpectedly. And then he followed, and we decided it was because he wanted to go take care of her then. So. But it was very unexpected, so she keeps coming back, and we're so blessed. We're so blessed. So today is about hope. It's about hope, and so I decided, every year, so I've been a minister for 30 years, and every year, Advent rolls around, and it's always the same. And I think it's always the same because we forget. We forget that the beauty of this season is pretty basic. And these basics, if we really live by these basics of hope, peace, joy, love, and light, this journey can be pretty phenomenal. So every year, it's a minister's job to remind you of that in a complicated world where we like to complicate things. This year, I decided to go back and take a little look at what is said about hope in the Old Testament. And I was taken to, and I don't think I have ever had anybody print Lamentations in the bulletin for me before, but I was taken back here. So Lamentations is a book where we talk about what really isn't working. But look what happens when you admit what isn't working. It's a good thing to hope for help from God. I'll never forget the trouble, the utter lostness, the taste of ashes, the poison I've swallowed. I remember it all. Oh, how well I remember the feeling of hitting the bottom. But there's one other thing I remember. And remembering, I keep a grip on hope. God's loyal love couldn't have run out. His merciful love couldn't have dried up. They're created new every morning. How great is your faithfulness? I'm sticking to God. I say it over and over. God's all I've got left. Central, of course, to this season is this story which we have put on Sharon has put on a lovely piece of paper for you to take with you. It's the story of the birth of Jesus from the Gospel of Luke. And we all know that we don't know when he was born or how he was born or where he was born. But this is a phenomenal story that helps us make sense of life. And that story only lives in our ability to interpret it in ways that make a difference for ourselves and for this world. So, I've become that minister. None of it's true. It's all myth. But there is a power in myth. Our life only has meaning with story. Whatever happened at your Thanksgiving table is now part of your story. I'm still living, breathing, and walking, and so is my brother. Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. Lots of food, and it actually was a very beautiful adventure to be with my family. So that Thanksgiving is now part of our family story. It's part of the story that reminds us that when we come together, we're reminded of the power of family. We're reminded what to be thankful for. We're reminded that some things are working for some folks and some aren't working for others. And probably the way I remember that story is not really true. Maybe my brother and I did fight. No, we did not. But do you know what I mean? But it's now part of my life story. It's part of my myth. It's part of my truth. So I want us to celebrate the power of story. All right? That's what I'm trying to do here. So take that beautiful telling of the Christmas story home with you, read it over and over again, and see what God has to say to you about it. So today, a recipe for Christmas, and the recipe is hope. On a scale from 1 to 10 being, I'm full of hope, being 10, and 1 being, I'm completely hopeless, how would you rate yourself? As you consider this question, well, just go ahead and share it with the person next to you, huh? I'm 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 5, I'm a 6, I'm a 1, I'm a... How are you? You're a 5? Yeah. I like that. That's good. How are you? A 6? That's pretty good. It's better than 5. A 6? All right. Wow. Okay. I'm a 7. I'm a 7. Yeah. I'm letting the world get to me. I'm supposed to say I'm a 10, but I'm a 7. Now, let me remind you the definition of hope, okay? The definition of hope is an optimistic state of mind that is based on an expectation of positive outcomes with respect to events and circumstances in one's life or the world at large. As a verb, its definition includes expect with confidence and to cherish a desire with anticipation. That's hope. Paul also, so we looked at Lamentations. Paul also is all about hope. So Paul's a New Testament guy, and he's all about hope. In most every book, he talks about hope. He's all about hopes. In Thessalonians, he says this. He says, in hope we endure hardship, and we keep our eyes fixed on God. Now may the Lord Jesus Christ himself and God, who has loved us and given us eternal comfort and good hope by grace, comfort and strengthen your hearts in every good work and word. He's all about the hope. In his letter to Philippians, he kind of recalls the life of Abraham. Remember, Abraham was an old guy, didn't think he was going to have any kids. It's a very complicated story because they decided to have, anyway. I'm so excited about faith these days. Yeah, so Sarah kind of works out a deal with Hagar. Not really. Hagar ends up starting the Islamic faith with Ishmael. You really don't care, do you? Anyway, Abraham and Sarah have babies long after they thought they would. Ta-da! There we go. And Paul is all about that. Paul is all about how Abraham never gave up hope, and from that came 12 tribes of Israel, came all of us. Paul is all about that, and he says in his letter to Philippians about Abraham and about all of us, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. So in other words, what he's saying is, let's keep our eye on the prize of goodness and not let the turkeys get us down. All right? Or the tryptophan get us down. and it's really true that our attitude around how we use the word hope is really important. Because you can say hope, not really be all that hopeful. Like me last week. I hope I have a good Thanksgiving with my conservative political brother. I didn't believe it. And God said, I got this. Just eat the turkey, Carolyn. Eat the turkey. Right? So sometimes it's the attitude we bring to hope. I think about it, when we say, I hope you have a healthy baby, we mean it. When we say, Leanne, I hope you feel better, we mean it. I hope you get an A in class. I hope he likes me. I hope to make a difference in the world. I hope their marriage makes it. I hope I get a raise. I hope we have world peace by Christmas. We use this magical little hope word on a daily basis. And let me tell you, it's tough to live with hope, isn't it? But it's even tougher to live life without hope. Hope is a vision for a better tomorrow that changes us in the present. There's something up ahead around the curve. There's something just out of my sight, and I know it's there. Now, what's important to note, though, that exciting, hopeful future is not in the abstract, right? It's not necessarily something that's totally out there. It's something, hope, that has to reach in and transform us in the present time as well. So when you say, I'm going to have a fabulous Thanksgiving, you believe it in your heart of hearts. Like that. When I say, I hope to have a great Thanksgiving with my family, turn it over to God, and it works. Now, you also have to be willing to say, not going to say the T word, not going to say the T word, right? Just one T word, Thanksgiving, not the other one. You've got to play along. If you want an A, I hope you get an A in class, well, you probably should work for it a little bit as well, right? You got to get engaged in this hope. I hope I get a raise is not the time to sit back and not do anything. No, it's time to engage. This hope is real. It becomes real when you start living your life with hope, and then that raise will come. If you really want world peace, then you got to stop shouting at your kids, right? You got to stop shouting at traffic. You got to stop yelling at your husband for moving you right outside of Keystone, right? We've got to believe it. And kind of what we proved here, us 5s, 6s, 7s, is kind of do. We kind of do. We do. So today I want to encourage you to go back to a time where you lived with great hope, and Will worked so perfectly with me today. Will worked so perfectly with me today because he ran in, little Will, and the first thing he told me was he's going to go see Santa at the museum today. Is that me? I am happy to take somebody's microphone. I'll be happy to.
With all the transitions in this space, I have number 4. With all the transitions in this space, these folks have got to, everything changes. So all the frequencies, all the things we do not understand until we go, what's wrong with that microphone? But see, there are these things now, and then the cameras and everything. It's going to be a transition time. And Christmas, the perfect time for that to happen. Anyway, okay, so he came in, said, I'm going to go see Santa. The only time Santa was off his mind was when he thought the minister wanted something totally different from him, right? He's excited. He's hopeful about Santa. He doesn't need a candle to remind him to have hope. That kid's got hope, and I can remember that feeling. I can remember that feeling. Can you remember that feeling? Ooh, the Sears catalog coming. Do you remember that? Used to come in the mail. And you'd go through and you'd mark those pages. You'd mark those pages because Santa needed to know what page what you wanted was on. Then you had to circle it really, really big, right? And inevitably, I can tell you, I don't know if I got everything that I put on that list. I don't know if everything that I put there made it to the underneath the tree. But I don't ever remember being disappointed either. I remember the magic of Christmas, the magic, the will magic. I'm going to see Santa. Well, kids, let's get excited. We can live with hope, and we don't need a catalog to do it. You don't need to make a list to do it. You need only believe that there's a spirit and an energy greater than politics, greater than anything else that's going on in your life that can take over any situation, because God proved it with me this past week. Can you tell I'm pretty excited about it? We just got to get back to that childlike space. We have become so logical, we are hoping ourselves right out of life. And we just can't do that. We've got to start moving in a different direction that is a little bit counterculture to society, right? We're about moving fast. We're about getting what we want now. We're about working it out now. We're about sending that email and getting an answer back in a minute, right? We're about all these things. Think about that letter you wrote to Santa, the care you took in writing it, and the belief you had when you sent it off to the North Pole. When was the last time you sent a communication like that? When was the last time you sent a communication with great hope that this choice of communicating in this particular way would transform a situation, a life, or something? We just don't think that way anymore. But that's how hope works. Our hope now is, well, I've got Prime and it's going to come in 2 days. Who needs, you know what I mean? That's all so important to us. Why? Why? We just have to ask ourselves, why have we decided that this is important? Hope can only live in our ability to let it live within us, and then for us to share that hope with others. Hope is a basic need for living. It's true. But hope it's intrinsic to who we are. Neuroscientist Talia Sharot argues that hope is so essential to our survival that it's hardwired in our brains. She believes that our lack of hope is the greatest despair in our world today. And if we returned our lives to living more hopefully, that indeed we would find we were healthier, we were happier, we were living the dream. And think about it, it's absolutely true. Studies show that college kids who are hopeful have better GPAs and are more likely to graduate. Hopeful athletes tend to stay healthier longer, and even when they do have an injury, they tend to make the mental adjustments that are needed in order to get healthy quicker. In a study of the elderly, those who felt hopelessness tended to die sooner than those who had hope, who were optimistic. People who have had heart attacks, studies show that if you've had a heart attack and after that heart attack you live very pessimistically looking forward to the next doctor's appointment, that you will not live as long as the person who believes that God saved them for some reason. And you know, as a pastor, I've seen that before with people who are ill. Some people who end up with these really tough illnesses, you can go into the room and one folk can be like, oh, this is the beginning of an arduous, awful journey. And then there's somebody else who says, you know what? I think this is a good thing that's happened to me. I've been reminded of what's really important to me. I know I saw that light, but I'm not seeing this light around me, and I got to figure that out. Inevitably, we take one side of that coin or the other. Well, let me tell you, the person who thinks that their life has been spared for some reason, who is hopeful about their future, is going to live longer. So you choose, right? A friend of mine told this story of a man. It's a pastor who told this story of a man. His name was Brian. Brian was living that American dream, right? So he went to college, he got married, he had a little girl. He was working in the tech world when 2008 happened. Does everybody remember what happened in 2008? We had the great big crash, the tech world crash, and he lost his job. And he wasn't too far out of college. And he lost that job, and what his ex-wife ended up saying was he lost his way. He just completely lost his way. First, he moved to alcohol to try to help the sting of losing that job. And alcohol became more important than looking for another job. And then alcohol moved to drugs, which was the end for his wife. And she divorced him and left with the daughter, and he lost total contact with them. Then he found he absolutely had to have money, and he didn't know what to do because he needed money. So then, of course, he started helping his drug runner buddies with drugs, and the rest is history. He was caught, he was arrested, he had to serve time in jail. When he got out of jail, he moved into a halfway house, a halfway recovery house. And part of the deal of living in that house was he had to go to church. So he found this church, and he started going to this church. And he said he was there for quite a while, and people noticed him. You know, it wasn't a huge church. People noticed him, and people started inviting him to come and sit by them. And he said, no, I need to sit over here because I'm saving this seat for somebody. I'm saving this seat for somebody. Sunday after Sunday, he would say, I'm saving this seat for somebody. And Sunday after Sunday, nobody ever showed up. Throughout time, he was treated with grace and love by the members of the church around him. And he decided to join a prayer group, a small group with a bunch of other men. And it was in that small group that these men ended up learning and hearing about his story. They ended up hearing about his life. They ended up reminding him that he was an amazing guy and that God was going to work in his life in amazing ways. One day, somebody asked him, hey, tell us a little bit about who you're saving the seat for. And he said, I'm saving that seat for my daughter. See, he had lost total and complete contact with his daughter, and as part of his recovery program, he was trying to deal with what that meant, not having that relationship with that daughter. And so he decided to take the chance, and he reached out, found out she was living in the same town as him, going to college. He found out that her address, and he wrote her a letter, apologized for his behavior. He also invited her to join him at church, said, I'll save you a seat. She never responded to that letter. Months and months went by, probably years, I don't know. And one day he was out with his prayer buddies, and they were drinking coffee. And who walks through this door but his daughter? And of course, he knew it was his daughter right away. And he went over to her and he said, look, you don't have to talk to me if you don't want to, but I'm your dad. My name is Brian. I guess her name was Hope. And they had this really pleasant little conversation. She was beaming because she had just come from a meeting with her. She played violin with her violin teacher, and she discovered that the next semester she would be able to go to London and study in London for a semester. Not only that, but as part of the study program, she would be able to play with the London Symphony. She was so excited about that, and she shared that with her dad, and he was so excited for her. And she said, you should come. She got her coffee and she left. He went back to his seat, just numb, right? So here's this kid he hasn't seen, he hasn't talked to, he feels terrible about the way he treated her. He sits down numb with his prayer buddy guys. And of course, who were totally eavesdropping. The guys eavesdrop just as much as we do, girls. Totally eavesdropping on what was going on with him and his daughter. And one of them said, you gotta go. And he said, there's no way. I don't have enough money to live where I'm living. I don't have enough money to do it, right? He's hopelessness, hopelessness. He's thinking about all the things that aren't going to work. And it's amazing how God works, because one guy goes, I don't have a passport. I have no idea how you go about doing that. It just so happened that one of the guys that was there worked for Homeland Security. And he said, I probably can help you figure that out. And he said, I don't know. It's like costs money to do that. And he said, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Can I help you do that? And he said, sure. I guess I need a passport no matter what. Well, time went down by. He did get his passport, but he still didn't have enough money to get to England. He didn't have enough money to get there. So his friends, his buddies from this church, all went together, and they got together enough money for him to fly to England. Not only that, but they found somebody else in the church who had a cousin who was living in London, and he could sleep on her couch. So now he was in a situation where he could attend his daughter's concert with the London Symphony. And he went. And he went with the help of his friends. And he said when he arrived, of course he told her that he would be there, he discovered that the seat he'd been saving was actually a seat that she was saving for him, and she didn't even know it. He was able to sit in a seat and enjoy his daughter's concert, and that was the start of reconciliation between the two of them. Now, what's interesting is he suddenly saw that empty seat that he had next to him totally different than what he had seen before, right? It was empty week after week. But because he believed and he had hope that he could be in relationship with his daughter, the Spirit went to work, put the right people in the right place, put the daughter in the right place. I believe God works this way. And then he was able to fill an empty seat to listen to her play. It was the beginning of reconciliation. My friend showed me the pictures of the daughter's wedding. Everybody was in tears. That's how the Spirit of hope works. So today, my question to you is, who are you saving a seat for? And how is your limited vision of hope getting in the way? How is your limited vision of hopelessness getting in the way? You have a little more control here in living the power of hope than you think you do. I can believe that people will not line up for the next month to get into a place to spend too much money. I can believe that. And it's probably not going to happen, but something will happen. Something will happen through traffic, through whatever it is. Something will happen. If I live in those moments with great hope in my heart, God's going to go to work. I just have to pay attention and be part of the solution. Friends, the recipe for Christmas is to sprinkle hope into the whole situation. From Thanksgiving on, you don't need a lot. You just need a little bit. You need to put a little bit of hope. You've already started because you named and claimed where you are. Well, let's hope we can move it up a notch. I'm going to move it up a notch. How can you do that? You can do it by being intentional about it, by sprinkling hope into every situation, especially the ones that make you crazy, and then let the Spirit go to work. Let the Spirit go to work. That's how hope lives in each and every one of us. I want to encourage you all today to be mindful of the seats you're saving, of the people you're missing, and just turn them over to God. Ask God for help with any challenging situation you have right now. If you don't have any challenging situations, then ask God how you can bring hope into the world like the guys who all participated in that man's miracle. Hope lives through you and me. Will you pray with me? Holy and loving God, we hope. We hope to be reconciled. We hope to see light and be light and live light. We hope to continue to save seats. We ask that you, in this season, help us to move into life with a spirit of hope. Help us to find a way to be optimistic in a world that moves very quickly. Let us move forth with expectation and confidence that hope is real and lives in us. Amen. As I said before, we are in our pledge campaign, and we ask those who are able to help us make our plans for the year to come. In addition to that, if you're back after a while, we have started participating in an offering at the garden for the first time in 30 years. And I want to remind us that offering is more than a time to throw a few bucks in the plate. I want you, as this basket comes by, as this harvest basket comes by, to keep in mind those things that are hopeless for you. And I want you to drop it in the basket. And if the basket goes by before, no big deal. Just drop it into God's hands and say, I need your help. I need your help with this grief. I need your help with this anger. I need your help with this. And really turn it over to God. I mean, really turn it over. That's what else offering's about. It's to give God our goodness and give God our challenges, because God works through all of it. At this time, may our prayers and our offerings be received. Great, this kid comes home for Thanksgiving and shares her time with us. We are so blessed, Caroline, to have you and your teacher here. How beautiful. Hey, Ben, come on up here. And as Ben comes up here, I want you to do me a favor. That song makes me think, let's all put a candle of hope in our window, right? Remind us, and then to let other people know that this is a house that has hope in it, and then go ahead and put it on your Facebook page, and we'll put it on ours. And I'll pretend like I'm using social media like all my friends are. So, yeah. What's going on? Yeah. It's not today, though, right? It's tomorrow? All right. Ready?
Go Colts.
All right. And may whose ever college team, yay. Okay, go now in peace. May the love of our God be yours today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Amen.